Hey friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. As always, I'm here to share my experiences with you and information that Spirit has shared with me. Specifically, this one, I'm going to be talking about anxiety, the spiritual meaning of anxiety from my position and from the information that I received. But I want to, before I start, share with any of you who are struggling with deep anxiety to not be afraid to ask for help, because I've gone for help many times when I've been completely flattened by anxiety. And it helps to have somebody to talk to. It helps to feel like you can depend on somebody to guide you. And I just wanted to say that there is so much love available on the other side of anxiety, but sometimes it is important that you find help. So I had a chat with Spirit today about anxiety because it's been coming up a lot in the past week. Today is August 30th of 2023, and it happens to be a super full blue moon, which doesn't happen very often, but full moons in general do kind of pull up a lot of emotion and can spike anxiety in general. So it's probably why I've been noticing a lot of people in my periphery and a lot of people who I've been doing readings for or chatting with mentioning that their anxiety is spiking. As I've gone through my own journey with anxiety and spiritual awakening and connection to Spirit, there's been several times that Spirit has told me that anxiety is really expansion, that a lot of our nervous feelings is the result of our brain's reaction to a new energetic space that we have come into. So think, 10 years ago where you were spiritually, maybe you would have never watched a video on the spiritual meaning of anxiety because you wanted to look it up online and hear what the doctors had to say. And that was the logic. That's the way it is. But now, fast forward to where you are now, you're in a different space. Your mind is a little more open. Your container of experience has opened a little bit or a lot to allow new experience to come in. And as we progress further and further into this spiritual awakening or the evolution of our own energetic bodies, as time is moving forward, we're opening our container quite wide to become more connected to our intuition, to our empathy. We sense others in a different way. We have a lot of dreams that are being pushed up in our face that we haven't realized yet. And we're starting to judge ourselves more. We're being called to go within and dig through and sift through some of our old hurts and generational pain and judgments and shame and all of the emotional kind of flotsam that has been kind of bubbling around in our bodies. But as we open our containers, we also allow more light to come in, which kind of activates some of these spaces of darkness or hiding. And when you're not actively in a space of being aware of when it gets triggered for you, what it looks like, and you just feel like you're constantly in a state of anxiety, it can be very difficult to pull yourself back out of that feeling space and kind of ask yourself some questions like, what is this tied to? What was I just thinking before this? Who's around me right now? Are they anxious? Are you somebody who picks up on people's emotions a lot? Are you the person your friends all come to you to tell you all their problems because you can hold space for them? All of those things have you kind of pulling on other people's anxiety as well, and it can spike your own. So, long and the short of the spiritual meaning of anxiety, it is your journey into awakening. It is part of the process of you moving into a space that you have never been in before. And anxiety is actually the flip side of the feeling of excitement. When we know where we're headed and we're anticipating something we're looking forward to, we experience anxiety as excitement. But when we don't know what's happening and we don't know the final destination and we don't even realize that we're in a moving towards something space, we experience it as anxiety. So a lot of what's happening inside of our minds and inside of our body, it's the same thing. And anxiety or excitement, it's just our brain that's kind of trying to put it in the box that it belongs in and protect our physical body from potential harm. So my offering to you is, when you feel anxiety, first say to yourself, I'm expanding. I'm opening more. My gifts, my energetic gifts specifically, those of you who are, again, intuitive, receiving messages, noticing that you're becoming more empathic, noticing little things out of the corner of your eye, noticing guides coming forward, the anxiety is your container opening up a little bit wider. If you can settle into your heart and feel the truth of that and sit with it for a moment, don't rush through trying to figure it out, okay? We're never going to figure it out because it's a continual life journey forward. Sit with it, chew on it, contemplate it, find your excitement inside of your anxiety, and see if you can kind of pull yourself into the whole process, the wholing of the two sides of that coin, anxiety and excitement together, because they both exist at once as one thing. Trust that you're being held, trust that you're moving forward, and trust that you are safe. And know that anxiety definitely has a deep spiritual connection when it comes to those of you who are working to move forward consciously, and even those in our lives who are not consciously working forward in their own spiritual beliefs. They're still going to experience it, but they won't have this ability to kind of come back to center, because they're just going to start projecting it everywhere, which is why it becomes more important for you to know the difference between your anxiety and others. So it's important to make sure you're protecting your space, clearing yourself at the end of the day, sending your energy back to anybody that you've taken it from, and calling your energy back to yourself so that you can stay in your own little bubble. Try that for a little bit and see if that helps with your anxiety, because often it will turn the volume down on how it's spiking inside of you, because it's not being triggered by other people and you're not kind of picking up all of their stuff and rubbing it all over your body. I'd love to hear your experiences when it comes to working with anxiety, when it comes to experiences that you've maybe had with spirit, or intuitive experiences that you've had connected to anxiety, or if you just have any questions below, I'd love to hear that as well. Have an amazing day and happy super blue moon.